Bethard for his retiring address. It is my pleasure to introduce your state president and my not-so-little brother for his retiring address. Now, before he retires, I thought there were a few things you should know about your fearless leader. He was the cutest, chunky baby cow around, as you saw yesterday. He's a bit of a goofball, and you just don't know what he's gonna say. It's a great picture. He's an avid NASCAR fan, having visited many of the tracks around the country and refusing to miss a single race on TV. He has an odd addiction to the TV show The Office, and is famous for quoting it, as well as numerous other movies and TV shows. Him and Zach at their finest moments. But most of all, he has loved serving all of you, the FFA members, for the past 2 years, and has worked hard to do what is best for you. With there being a 7.5-year age difference between my brother and I, he grew up watching me go through the FFA. Prior to being an FFA member, he had already attended 2 national FFA conventions and caught the FFA bug early. Having caught the bug and sports not being an option for him, when he got to high school, he threw himself into the FFA. As a Caesar Rodney FFA member, he thrived in every competition he was a part of. His keys to success were making all of his judges laugh and his natural ability to talk to anyone. It was no surprise when he was elected to state FFA office. It has been an honor to watch him as both your state FFA treasurer and state president. For Joshua, state office has been a job he has taken seriously, a year of service, frequently having to be reminded to stop and have a little bit of fun. I thank his teammates for constantly keeping him on his toes. As you retire, your FFA journey is not ending, but changing. Before you know it, you'll be joining the crazy profession of an ag teacher. I cannot wait to see all that you will accomplish and all of the members you will continue to impact. Without further ado, your state president, Joshua Bethard, and his retiring address, what's your number?
Movies. Actually, like may not do me justice, I love movies. As a child, I had the ability to watch a movie once and instantly remember quotes from it. They would come in pretty handy when it came to casual conversation, workshops, or even an occasional speech. So when I was trying to create this retiring address, I thought, how can I get you, the audience, involved? And then it came to me. Audience interaction. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start out by saying a well-known movie quote, and when I stop, I want you, the audience, to chime in finishing the quote. You guys got it?
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. I think the first one's pretty easy. Life is like a box of chocolates. Yeah, that sounded good. Forrest Gump, I mean, that's an iconic movie. One more. If you ain't first, last. Yes. From one of the all-time favorites, Ricky Bobby, Zach, Shake and Bake. While both of these movies for me sit near the top of my list, the movie I'm about to share with you is at the top of my list. The movie The Guardian, starring Ashton Kutcher, has Ashton playing a character named Jake Fisher. Jake, after graduating high school, decided he wanted to go in somewhere he could make a difference. He was going to become a United States Coast Guard rescue swimmer. Sounds like a pretty intense job, right? Yeah. He was motivated to be a rescue swimmer by the passing of his high school swim team in a tragic car crash. After arriving at what is known as A School, he instantly caught the eye of his instructor, Ben Randall. Ben was known as one of the best Coast Guard rescue swimmers that they had to offer. What a great pairing. Ben was going to share all the lessons he could with Jake, and, well, Jake wasn't always too interested in receiving those lessons. Throughout their time together, Ben knew the potential that Jake had to make a difference. When he hopped in the water, he knew that Jake could get there faster, be stronger, and save more lives. He felt that Jake could be the difference between life and death. Jake, throughout his time through A school, would ask one question to any rescue swimmer. What's your number? What's your number? Referring to the number of failures that rescue swimmer had had. The number of lives that rescue swimmer couldn't save. Jake, he feared failure. Once Jake finished A school and hopped in the water, he was an instant success. But one night, he responded out to a capsized vessel with a captain in distress. That night, Jake encountered his first failure and the loss of his instructor, Ben. How many of us fear failure? Looks like most of us. We would all, 100% of the time, rather be successful than fall flat on our faces. But the fact is, failure in our life is inevitable. But the fact is the best way to turn our failure into success is how we respond to it. And the best way to respond is by surrounding yourself with great people. Throughout this past year, I've had the opportunity to do some reading, which I know for you is a big shock, because I'm a movie guy. But the book I've been reading, entitled Love Does by Bob Goff, may go down in history as definitely one of my favorites, but Bob Goff may be the most interesting guy that I have ever heard in my entire life. Bob, after finishing high school, decided that he wanted to go into a career where he felt he could make a difference. He decided he was going to be a lawyer. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with the process of becoming a lawyer, before you can even attend law school, you then have to take a law equivalent SAT. The day had come for Bob to take his test. He took the test, the results are in, and he failed miserably. Just to put in perspective how badly Bob failed, when he sent his test scores off to law schools, they didn't even send him a letter back. They just thought, he knew those test scores weren't good enough, we don't need to waste the postage. But Bob didn't stop there. I know that if I had failed that test, the test to get into the career that I wanted to, I may have stopped right there. But not Bob. Bob chose the law school that he wanted to attend. He then set up a meeting with the dean. He met with the dean at the law school and saw the same result again. Now I know, after failing not once, but twice, I would have stopped right there. Not Bob. Bob proceeded to walk out of that office, go to the bench that was outside, sit down on the bench, and he waited. He waited for the dean to pass by every day for weeks. When the dean would pass by, he would say one phrase: "All you have to do is tell me to go buy my books." The dean passed for weeks, and finally, the dean stopped, looked at Bob, and said, "Bob, go buy your books." It had worked. He had figured out a way to get into law school, and he was going to be successful in the career he had always dreamed about. Bob had to experience 2 failures to get 1 success And finally, he achieved what he wanted. If you were to ask yourself, what was Bob's number? 2 failures, 1 success. And it took more than just him to get it done. He needed to add 1 person to his total number, the dean. He could not get into law school on his own. He needed help. And he got that. It's all about how you respond to failure. As Bob responded to his failure by not quitting, when I reflect back on my life, a failure that sticks out to me happens at one of my most favorite places on earth, the Delaware State Fair. The State Fair is home to the best 10 days of the year, and for me, for over 10 years, it was home to where I showed goats. Now, for a showman, the most coveted award of them all is the Showmanship Award. That's right, folks, the award when the judge only focuses on you and not the animal. I did it for over 10 years, and all I wanted was a grand or reserve champion showmanship award. That's all I wanted, that's it. But it didn't quite plan out. I was good, not great. You see, the people that were around me to help me out when I was showing goats, they were wonderful. The animals that I had the privilege to show, they were great too. But I failed. I didn't put the work in, and that's why I didn't achieve my goal. Bob and Jake both had time to turn their failures into success. But for me, the time was running out. Now, when I reflect back, I'm not telling you that I did not like showing goats because I never achieved my goal. That's far from it. I loved showing goats. I mean, come on. It's pretty cool watching a 6'2" guy showing a tiny little pygmy goat. You got your butt up in the air the entire time. You get all up like this. And I never played sports in high school. So for me, goat showing, that's where I got competitive. I would do anything to get higher up in the class. Me not achieving my goal and time running out should make me standing here today depressed. But instead, I don't sit here depressed. I stand here today hopeful and motivated. As a future FFA advisor and ag teacher, I'm looking forward to the time when I can motivate my future students to become Grand or Reserve Champion showmen. I'm going to find my joy in service. When I reflect back on my memories at the Delaware State Fair, while there are some failures that sit there, it is also home to some of my greatest successes. After completing my freshman year of high school, my ag advisor, Mr. Cook, contacted me. Yeah, let's give him a round of applause. Yeah, that's great. He contacted me and he said, hey, I need another person on my livestock judging team. Can you do it? Me do livestock judging? That's funny. I'm a plant science kid. But because I didn't want to let Mr. Cook down, I said yes. And well, I was a nervous wreck about it. From the day of saying yes to the day of competition. And Mr. Cook can contest, I showed absolutely no skill of being a livestock judger from the day of saying yes to the day of the competition. Couldn't judge the animals, and I surely could not do oral reasons. The day had come. I was at the fair, in the camper. I woke up to find my papers spread across my bed. I had fallen asleep studying the night before. It was time to live on a prayer that I can just barely live up to my nickname, the Weak Link. I participated in that career development event. As I went through, I realized that if I even wanted to try and achieve the nickname, the Weak Link, and live up to it, I needed to add more to my support needed to add to my total number. I needed to add one great CDE coach and 3 awesome teammates that are going to help me and propel me to success. The results came in. I looked at the paper. The team had gotten first. I was on my way to National FFA Convention in Louisville, Kentucky. I looked at the individual placings, starting at the bottom because I was the weak link. That's where I have to be. And I got farther and farther up, got to the top 10, and realized, man, they must have got me off the list, I guess. Oops. And I eventually got to number 1, and there was my name. Who'd have thought? The plant science kid. Mr. Cook says I'm really lucky. So we tried that luck out again the next year for dairy judging, and we saw the same results. And then we tried it for horse judging the following summer. And while I got second individually, the team got first, and we were on our way to Indianapolis, Indiana. Lucky. 3 times in a row, I think not. But when I reflect back on my journey at the state fair, competing in career development events, I realize that I owe a lot of my success to the people that were in my total number that supported me. Mr. Cook and Ms. Strauss were both huge proponents in helping me to be able to achieve success. I felt like I taught them lessons, and they surely taught me lessons. They taught me that even if I was a plant science kid, if I worked hard, stepped out of my comfort zone, I could achieve success. And I'd like to think I showed them that you can turn a plant science kid into a 3-time state champion at an animal science-based career development event. Yeah. But it's all about how you respond to when someone breaks you down and maybe thinks that you can't do it. If you work hard, you can get it done. But the biggest thing is finding people around you that are going to help you on your journey to find success. When I reflect back on this idea of putting the right people around you, I've come to this process. Step 1. Identification. You have to identify people in your life that you believe have the ability to make a difference with you. These people may have the same morals and values, common interests, same career goals, or maybe you just have a feeling that this person can make a true difference in your life. Step 2. This is the maintenance part of it. This is the building relationships part, where you're going to use that person you have identified and grow the relationship. You're going to find those people, you're going to hang out with them, you're going to figure out how that person can hold you accountable and how that person can encourage you. Now, this process is not an exact science. For some of us, it will be really easy to identify and super difficult to build. For others, it may be easy to identify, hard to build, vice versa, or maybe, just maybe, like me, it's hard for both. When I was in high school, I was not someone who had a ton of friends. Anybody I hung out with, I called an acquaintance. And my family were great supporters of me. I was truly blessed and couldn't ask for any better. But I'm guessing for many of us, we need people outside of our family. People that can help us and encourage us. I found that person outside of my family through this organization in another chapter in another county. That person helped to encourage me, hold me accountable, and we just had fun. When I reflect back on this year, and I ask myself, what's my number? Coming to mind, 42 chapters, nearly 4,000 members, and 5 great state officer teammates. When I reflect back on my journey as a state officer, there have been some great memories and chapters that have really made an impact on me. I have to start with my home chapter of Caesar Rodney. Man, they have been great supporters of me. Yeah. There were times when I knew the members that were there, and then there's even times now that I don't know who they are, but they're still super supportive of me. Or how about the Seaford FFA chapter, that when I was in high school, they called me their honorary member. That was really nice. Yeah. Kudos to Seaford. Or how about the Lake Forest FFA chapter, the chapter that has welcomed me in the most as a state officer. Or how about the Laurel Middle FFA chapter, who I have attended the most this year. Or finally, how about the W.T. Chipman FFA chapter? Yeah. We're at the Discovery Leadership Conference. They offered me to go into their skit, which was pretty awesome. And it's definitely one of my favorite memories from this year. Those were all great memories, great chapters. But this year was super special because of 5 great state officer teammates. Each of them, for me, has a special impact, whether it be a quality that I think makes them really, really great at their job, or something that just really, really connects with me. Hausler. He's Mr. Future. I tell you what, I've never met anyone who has the ability to make a decision today, but think about tomorrow and the impact that your decisions today are going to have. I learned about this through my time traveling at 2 Summit during the month of July to a State Officer Leadership Conference. And I've leaned on it a lot. George is Mr. Positive. It's pretty hard to say after an entire year that you didn't see a guy get mad once. But that's true with George. I didn't see him get angry. And that's something to write home about. That's awesome. And it's been pretty cool to serve with somebody who's as professional as George. Trey, definitely the funniest FFA member I've ever met. He may be the funniest guy I've ever met in general. It's pretty hard to have a negative attitude and not a smile on your face when Trey's around. Because he can make you belly roll any day of the week, anytime. I have no doubt that he's going to be super successful in his future endeavors of becoming a paramagician, as I like to call it, also known as paramedic. Zach. Man, my man Zach. He's been a brother for the last 2 years, I tell you. Zach has this special ability about him. His ability to connect with members instantly. Immediately, he connected with me at the state officer candidate process as we both learned we both have a love for racing. And we've had a lot of conversations about racing the past 2 years, hours of it. But I immediately realized that he had this gift and that I needed to pay attention to him so I could try to acquire those skills and connect with members. He's been a great friend this year. Thanks, buddy. Finally, Miss Jillian. She's Miss Passionate. I thought I was passionate about the FFA. She takes it to a whole new level. You're never going to find anyone who's more happier, more passionate about the FFA than her. I have no doubt that she's going to be successful both in her journey through this organization and out. Fun fact for you. The person I was talking about that helped to encourage me, hold me accountable, was her. Success and failure. It can be blinding. It's so hard for us to overcome our failures and turn it into success. But it's all about how you respond. Failure can be tough. It can be hard. But it's a part of life. It's a part of your journey. It's a part of your story. And the best way to respond to your failure and turn it into success is by surrounding yourselves with great people. Look around your life. Pick 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 people that you can put in your life that can make a difference, that can be a supporter, someone who can add to your total number. Remember, everyone needs someone. Delaware FFA, success, failure. Respond the best way that you can to your failures to turn it into success. What's your number? The number of times that it's going to take you to turn failures into finding one success. Delaware FFA, what's your number? The number of people that you're going to have to put into your life to make a difference, to help you in your journey to find success. Delaware FFA, what's your number?
There's several nicknames that we have for you. Thank you for being an amazing leader, a friend, the voice of reason, and having a passion for our FFA and impacting our members. You have an amazing journey with whatever you choose, and we will always be right behind you. You are an amazing friend, an amazing leader, and an amazing motivational speaker. Love always, Zach, Trey, George, Josh, and Jillian. Delaware FFA, your 2018-2019 Delaware FFA State President,